Production 1 through 9 for a Stanford team that's got 49-16, 17-7 in the Pac-12 school record for wins, tied the school record for conference wins. They're looking for their first win against UCLA, and they will face the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Caitlin Terry.
And Caitlin Terry, a freshman pitcher, has just gotten better as the season has gone on because she has developed more of the bottom of the zone with her curveball, her drop ball, and her changeup. Her rise ball is a pitch that she will throw the largest percentage of the time at 42%, but that curveball, changeup, and a new drop ball that she learned this year has helped her make that rise ball look even tougher coming from the left-hand side.
She'll throw the kitchen sink at you typically, and she'll throw to Taryn Kern. As patient as anybody in the nation. Kern, as she always does, will take the first pitch. It's strike one. Kern was the tone setter on Friday night. Had an 11-pitch at-bat against National Player of the Year finalist Lexi Kilfoyle. Ended up walking. It was one of 3 walks in 4 plate appearances. Taryn Kern leading the way with an on-base percentage of .512, which was 25th in the nation and 2nd in the Pac-12. She leads the country with 59 walks, and she is 3rd, having been hit by 21 pitches, so 80 free passes. And Kern is hit again. Make it 22, but now Kern is going to be called back by Cameron Ellison.
When Taryn Kern gets in the box with less than 2 strikes, her toes are on top of the chalk line. You can see where she starts, and I think what they're saying here is that that pitch was in the river, so that area in between the chalk line and home plate. And you have to make an attempt to get out of the way, and it did actually look like she made an attempt to get out of the way at this pitch. This should be a great view of where that ball hit her.
Cameron Ellison with the ump cam tonight. So it's not that she didn't make an attempt to get out of the way, it's that she stands right there, so the ball was in the river. It's called a ball, to be clear, because the pitch would have been out of the strike zone, so it was just ball 3. Two and two. Christy Cornwell is our rules analyst. Christy, what do you have on that play?
Well, I agree with you and Amanda on that. The area over the plate belongs to the pitcher, and the batter has to get out of the way if the ball is not entirely in the batter's box.
All right, Christy, thank you. With us all World Series. You see Kern maybe a tiny bit backed up now, but not much. And she'll swing away on 3-2. Little looper left field, and caught by the on-rushing Jadlyn Alchin. So a 6-pitch battle won by the freshman Terry.
And Kevin, these UCLA pitchers have just been really tough in the month of May with the way that Caitlin Terry and Taylor Tinsley have stepped up. I mean, you think about how they got here into an elimination game. It was that 1-0 loss to Oklahoma. They only gave up 1 run to that solid offense over at OU.
It's been the same formula. We've seen Terry start, go through the order a couple of times, and then Taylor Tinsley come in. Would not be surprised to see that again tonight, especially with 2 games on docket tomorrow. If UCLA's going to get to the Champ Series, these teams need to win today, then beat Texas twice tomorrow. Texas only needs to win 1. The all Pac-12 sophomore, we'll be saying that a lot for Stanford. This one's Kira Chan, and she takes strike 1. Chan a .387 on base percentage in the NCAA tournament. Fouls away strike 2. A lot of lefties in this lineup. How good of a thing is that for Caitlin Terry?
Caitlin Terry loves to spin that curveball away from the left-handed hitters. And she's going to see them time and time again. But I think even if there were a lot of righties with the way UCLA has been going, that they're going to go to Caitlin Terry with the start.
And she burns Chan for her first strikeout.
Look at this late movement, throwing with good movement, good velocity. Terry with the K.
Freshman Ava Gall with 2 down. Let's check in with Alyssa.
Amanda, you mentioned that OU game. Maya Brady talked about her young pitchers, talking about KT, saying to hold that offense to 1 run, that's a pretty good outing. She said, my favorite thing is when KT gives up a hit, she turns around and laughs. That tells me my freshman pitcher's in a great place.
I called her unshakable when she does that sort of thing, and Caitlin Terry has grown so much over the course of this year. The whole UCLA team has. But Caitlin Terry literally adding a new pitch over the course of the season with a drop. Her fearlessness is what Kelly Inouye Perez really enjoys watching.
Yeah, Coach Inouye Perez said that the rate of growth that Caitlin Terry has had this year is the most I've ever seen with a pitcher at UCLA in 1 year. Started out the year a little bit injured and on a pitch count, so didn't get to pitch as much early on. But when she got healthy and was getting the reps at practice and in game, she just turned it on.
Out of play from Ava Gall. Ava had the first hit of the World Series for Stanford Thursday night, a first inning single. Then she had the second hit of the World Series for Stanford. That came on Friday. Cardinal were 1 hit by Tegan Cavan. And then Gall's home run in the second opened the floodgates. The first of 11 hits, 8 runs driven in that night. Jessica Allister talking about Gall and Jade Berry, her freshman in the 3 and 5 spot. She said that those two have really managed the ups and downs that go with hitting at this level, and they're starting to realize now there's no pitching they haven't seen. And you can credit Stanford for scheduling very aggressively in the non-conference, to where these kids who are first and second year players have seen the best of the best in the pack and then all over the country. Another 1-2 from Terry. Strike 3 goes up the ladder to get Gall. 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 first for Kennedy and Terry.
These pitchers are feeling good in this game already, even with the familiarity. The 4th time these two teams are playing each other. Through 1 inning, we've had 4 strikeouts, and the freshman has half of those.
Nysra Kennedy's won just about everything you can win this year. The Collegiate Player of the Year in USA Softball, Pitcher of the Year in the Pac-12. Leads Division I with an ERA of .74, 322 strikeouts. It's the first pitcher to lead the nation in ERA back-to-back years in 16 years. And she was so much crisper, Amanda, on Friday night.
Yeah, opening round against Texas, you see this area in the red that pitches were just missing down and into them. You can see the red area against Texas in the heat map where she was going to most kind of all over the place, and then turned it on in the elimination game against Oklahoma State, going to that red area kind of through the strike zone and out of the strike zone with her rise ball. And that rise ball is a pitch that she's using more at the World Series this year in comparison to how she used it the entire season. So 55% of the time she used her rise ball in the season. That's up to over 70% at the World Series, using her changeup a little bit less, but already seen it early in this game a lot.
Here's Megan Grant. And a strike from Kennedy. Do you expect, given she's eased the changeup in the first 2, she throws it a little bit more tonight?
I do think that that's what's going to happen. Already seen that in the first inning. Sometimes she'll wait until 2nd or 3rd time through the order.
Grant clobbers one to left field, the opposite way, off the top and over the wall. Megan Grant knocks one out to left field, and UCLA strikes first.
Megan Grant in the regular season had such good at-bats off of Nysra Kennedy because she held her hands higher than in the regular season to work on staying on top of the rise ball. I mean, that's more of a mistake, but she is looking for something up in the zone and ready to get on plane with it. That pitch stayed down. Her hands got on plane with that rise ball. That was a miss, and she sends it out of here. But starting with her hands in a higher position, anticipating that pitch moving up in the zone.
In 217 and 2/3 innings, Nyjah Kennedy has only allowed 8 home runs. But Grant's now 4 for 10 with a homer and 2 doubles off Kennedy this year. The Bruins strike fast and strike first on this elimination Sunday night.
Well, and Nyjah Kennedy, Kevin, I mean, she's been so good in elimination games in the postseason for Stanford. She has continued to get the ball. She is the only pitcher who has pitched for them in elimination games, thrown 26 innings, and she's just given up the 1 earned run. I mean, that's how good she has been. Her ERA, 0.27. I mean, only giving up the 1 earned run in 26 innings pitched in the 4 elimination games when she's got the ball.
There's a changeup. Jordan Woolery flails at it. A couple of good off-speed pitches there, and Kennedy collects her 3rd strikeout.
That changeup that we were talking about is she's been able to locate this pitch at a really nice height, right at the bottom of the zone. Bringing it to the inside corner, too. I love that look with the ump cam.
Ball 1-2, Savannah Polo. Junior designated player for the Bruins. Savvy Pola knocks one out of play. Well, UCLA, the first 2 games of this World Series was just 6 for 44. They already have a home run. And now it's time to find the Grant family. The Bruin Bad Moms are out in full force. You can see the jersey there says Chef Megan on the back, by the way. That is Megan Grant's nickname. She goes by Chef. Ground ball back to Kennedy, who lobs to first. Megan, by the way, says she's inspired by Steph Curry. She's a big Warriors fan. In her words, she is not actually a good cook, but the Bruins fans are saying, yes, Chef, after an opposite field home run on this Sunday night. Chatting with her head coach, Kelly Inouye Perez. And that's the first home run Nyjah Kennedy has given up the first time through the order in her career. An absolutely insane start to an absolutely insane career for Kennedy. And it ends on what could be the final game of her 2nd season. Ground ball to short off the bat of Tessimau Ulu. Kennedy gets the final 3, but UCLA gets the first one.
And you call her Chef Megan, and it was Chef Megan Grant who just served it out of here and put UCLA on the board first. That's a huge deal. In an elimination game, you want to be the team that strikes first. The sophomore, Megan Grant, with a solo home run, putting UCLA up by 1.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
It's the best tradition here at the Women's College World Series. When a player hits a home run, an usher retrieves the ball and brings it to their family. It's been going on for a couple of decades here in Oklahoma City, and the latest and greatest, Megan Grant's home run. A softball given to her parents after her opposite field homer. Her 8th of the season and her first in Oklahoma City gives UCLA the lead. But here's Ali Kaneshiro, a Stanford senior and their lone right-handed hitter with a first pitch single against Caitlin Terry in the 2nd. Kaneshiro having a terrific tournament in her final college year, and she is the first base runner for Stanford. On to the fabulous freshman Jade Berry. Very first pitch swinging as well. Alchin circles back after starting in. 2 pitches, 1 hit, 1 out, both to left.
You're seeing Stanford be more aggressive in the second inning already after those 2 strikeouts in the first. Hunting something early in the count, not wanting to get to 2 strikes because of all the different looks that Terry can give them.
Stanford is typically an exceedingly patient team. Not this inning. They are second in the Pac-12 in walks, second in on base percentage, or beg your pardon, led the Pac-12 in walks and are 18th in the country in that category. Kaylin Koch takes ball 1 in the dirt. And Koch swings at the next one. So 3 batters, 4 pitches, and 3 balls hit to the left side. River Mailer typically a little more patient than that. Not here.
Maybe we'll get a Taryn Kern first pitch swing tonight.
Don't be crazy.
Things might get a little wacky late in the later innings.
If Taryn Kern swings at the first pitch, things would be as wacky as possible. That would be true mass hysteria. She's due up 4 batters from now. We can get into her first pitch lack of swing-a-rama there. Mailer, base hit and a bases loaded walk on Friday night. Swings at strike 2.
And River Mailer sure has been good in the elimination games. At 600, 6 for 10.
520 on base percentage in the tournament as a whole. Slugging .619 with a couple of triples.
You'll see Caitlin Terry go up with that rise ball, trying to see if she can get these Stanford hitters to chase that pitch. That's why that curve, drop, and changeup have been so effective for her to continue to mix in.
Strike 3 up. A 9-pitch second inning for Terry. A shutdown inning at that for UCLA's freshman ace. The only run still belongs to the Bruins. This elimination Sunday night with Caitlin Terry cruising. Too many elite players to even name, too many to even consider. 60% of the all-time national titles have belonged to the Pac-12. Every team has reached the Women's College World Series, led by UCLA, here for a 32nd time, looking for a 13th national title. Today is the last ever Pac-12 versus Pac-12 softball game, and how fitting that it occurs at the World Series. You know, for the last few years, our friend, who we sadly have to say is the late Bill Walton, would say time and again, Thursday nights, that we were here in the Conference of Champions. And maybe it was a little bit of a joke because the Pac-12 hadn't won a men's basketball title in a long time. But Bill, as he always was right in his own cosmic way. This is and has been the Conference of Champions. In basketball, sure, in football in years past, but in Olympic sports, in baseball, and no more than in softball. There has been no league more associated with this game than the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 ends after this year with UCLA heading to the Big Ten. Stanford, along with Cal, going to the ACC. Kennedy's 2-1 grounded to third, knocked down by Berry, and she has time to retire Seneca Curro for the first out of the inning. And look, this sport is on a rocket ship. Look at the ratings, look at the attendance here every night, look at the interest in the game. Softball is headed for the top. It's not coming back. All of you who watch and participate are a big part of that. The sport is going to be fine, and all these teams will be fine. But it is not going to be the same without the Pac-12. And so we say goodbye to the Pac-12 at some point this week. It'll be tomorrow or the Champ Series. These teams will live on, but it's going to be strange.
Just think of all the history, not just in the Pac-12, but the history of our sport lives in the Pac-12. And the history, the rivalries that formed, that the sport was built around, that people started to latch on to the sport because they lived for those rivalries and want to have a chance to watch some of the greats like Lisa Fernandez, now first base coach at UCLA.
Slap foul by Janelle Mayonio. We've been lucky to have some of the greatest Pac-12 players ever working for us. Danielle Laurie, who's right there in studio, national champion with Washington, along with Maddie Shipman right there. Jenny Dalton-Hill. We could just spend 2 innings just let's remember some Pac-12 greats, and we wouldn't even scratch the surface.
Because the Pac-12 got people interested in softball and wanting to watch with the talent level and just the historic, classic, great games and great coaches that were in the Pac-12, from Coach Candrea, Mike Candrea, Sue Inquist, Teresa Wilson, Sharon Backus.
There's Mayonio with a base hit, slapped through the left side. And Janelle Mayonio with UCLA's second hit of the night.
So many moments, and I mean, it was UCLA and Arizona with the most championships, but the fact that 5 different Pac-12 teams won a national championship is really special, and all of them making the World Series at some point just tells you about the depth of softball in the Pac-12.
Well, hopefully UCLA and Stanford and these schools can keep it going in the non-conference, and I'm sure they'll have many meetings in the postseason to come. 2 of the great players in recent history in the Pac-12, Brady and Kennedy. Now, I just have to say one more thing, because I know that Beth Mowens is watching. The first ever World Series championship game, UCLA over Fresno State, led by winning pitcher Debbie Doom, who struck out a dozen. And it's been all upward since there. 1-1 for Brady, who struck out looking in the first inning. Pac-12 Player of the Year versus Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year right here. And Brady's way out in front of the changeup.
I mean, that pitch has been really good for Nyjah tonight. She's definitely using it more. That was the game plan coming in from the get-go, to use that changeup more than she had already.
Another 2-strike changeup. Kennedy strikes out Brady in back-to-back at-bats.
Kennedy went to the changeup. This is the second strike. She throws that pitch low and away, and it sets up that pitch again. Goes to it back-to-back times. You're seeing actually 2 different pitches, 2 different replays, but it looked like the exact same pitch. Back-to-back changeups to strike out the Pac-12 Player of the Year.
So Kennedy has struck out 4, and she jumps ahead of Jalen Alchin. Maya Brady now 5 strikeouts in 6 at-bats her last 2 games. Another Pac-12 to Pac-12 transfer here. Alchin was at Washington for 4 years. Looking to come home, and she'll end her career with UCLA in Fountain Valley, California. And she was a travel ball teammate of the hitters she's behind and ahead of. Charlize Palacios on deck. Maya Brady, who just hit. Mayonio before that. All were OC Batbusters. Off the glove of the first baseman, Gall. That ball's ticketed for right field. And a couple of 2-strike hits in the inning for UCLA. Mayonio, who dashes to third. And now Jalen Alchin.
Love the way here that Jalen Alchin had Maya Brady's back. Ended up striking out in front of her for the second time in this game, and Jalen Alchin just becomes tough with 2 strikes to get on top of that rise ball. and hit it hard just over the head of Ava Gall. She crushed that ball that was 70 miles an hour off the bat.
The first two-strike hits of the World Series for UCLA in this inning. And a big opportunity for Palacios, who set fire to the regional and super regional rounds. 5 home runs most of the tournament.
Well, and lefties hit 100 points higher off of Nyjah Kennedy than right-handed hitters. Lefties hitting about 190, righties hitting 097. She definitely favors throwing against right-handed hitters.
Palacios cranks it down the line and right, but she's a little late.
That changeup has been so good. I would keep using it and kind of flip her pitch calling just to continue to use that changeup, maybe even more than her rise ball. Save her rise ball until later versus saving her changeup until later. That changeup is been such an effective pitch for her opponents, hitting under 100 off of her changeup this year.
And she'll throw it again. Palacios got her back to it from short. Mailer heaves in time. And Kennedy strands a pair. 8-9-1 coming up for the Cardinal. Three of the top 4 seeds will be in the World Series semis, Texas, Oklahoma, and Florida. We've seen 16 home runs by 16 different players here in OKC. The pitching has really ruled the roost with 5 shutouts through 9 games. And we've already tied the World Series record with 3 run rules, including Stanford's last game over Oklahoma State, 8-0. This is our 5th game, Amanda. We have not seen a game where both teams have scored a run. We are the shutout kings and queens right now of OKC. If you're Stanford fans, you're hoping for that jinx to be reversed as Emily Jones stands in. And Jones slaps the first pitch to the left side. Brady can't handle it. A leadoff base hit for Stanford. It's Emily Jones' 3rd hit of the tournament.
And Stanford continuing to be aggressive like they were in the 2nd inning, swinging early in the count, gets the first pitch, gets on top of that rise ball, and the perfect placement, slaps it past the 3rd baseman and is playing up the line. Nice execution by Emily Jones.
Now Caitlin Lim in the number 9 spot. Lim swinging away at the first pitch as well, and she'll fly out to Grant in right. The first 2 pitchers have swung at the first pitch. I will guarantee you that's not going to happen again, because Taryn Kern has not swung at the first pitch since February 23rd. That's more than 3 months ago. Kern has swung at the first pitch just 4 times this season. All of them in February. 223 against Colorado State the last time. Will she do it here? You know she won't. It's ball 1.
She said she was waiting for the right moment, so we know she's going to get at least 1 or 2 more at-bats in this game, so we'll see.
It's now been 206 plate appearances since she last swung at the first pitch. And she told us earlier in the week she likes to make her at-bats a hostile environment for opposing pitchers. Loves to challenge them, make them work the counts, loves to see their best stuff. So there's nothing they can get by her. That's up and away, and Kern has taken 3 more. It's honestly comical. There's just really nobody like this that we've seen, at least in the World Series or in the tournament in recent years. Kern takes another. That's in there at the knees.
Well, and she's comfortable hitting with 2 strikes, too. You're not going to take as many pitches as Taryn Kern if you're not comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. And she said that she's always been comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
There's her first swing. Loops one into the gap. Left center. It's off the wall for extra bases. Jones is waved around third. Here's the throw home, and it's late. waits for her moment and finally uncoils for a violent swing, and Stanford ties the score.
She doesn't get freaked out when she has 2 strikes on her. She lets that pitch get deep, knowing in this lefty-on-lefty matchup that Terry likes to go to that curveball away from her, and she sends it the opposite way to tie up this game. Look at the bottom of the order of Emily Jones being the spark to create this rally, leading off the inning with a hit, coming around to score.
Kern with her 6th 2-strike double of the year, 6 of her 9, and that is going to be the end of the line for Caitlin Terry. We've seen Kelly Inouye Perez get Terry through the lineup twice before going to Taylor Tinsley. Tonight, she gets her through the lineup once plus a batter. So Tinsley into the game. Taylor Tinsley in a 1-1 tie when we return. Two plus for Caitlin Terry, 2 1/3 to be exact. Now Taylor Tinsley, UCLA's 2-headed monster in the circle. The lefty Terry gives way to the right-handed sophomore Tinsley.
Taylor Tinsley has seen a lot more innings in her freshman year last year. She's going to work with her rise ball and curve ball and then drop in this beautiful changeup. That changeup can create vertical separation alongside her rise ball. She can tunnel that pitch well out of her hand. And she's going to mix things up, not just rely on her rise ball up in the zone. She throws that at 30%, the highest of all of her pitches, but mix in a screw, curve, and also that changeup. That changeup was very good against Stanford in the regular season series. Got her a lot of strikeouts when she faced them the first time.
So a single by Jones, 2 batters later, a double by Kern, and now Tinsley against Kira Chan for strike 1. Why do you think Kelly Inouye Perez made the move this quickly?
I think based off of how aggressive they were being in that contact early in the count that they were getting. Especially that Taryn Kern 2-strike swing. Second time through the order.
2 strikes from Tinsley to Chan. Might be one other reason you want Taylor Tinsley in this game. She absolutely owned Stanford in the regular season. She was a National Pitcher of the Week. No runs, 20 strikeouts, 1 walk in 15 2/3 innings, a career high 15 Ks in 9 innings of game 1. And there's another. She strikes out Chan.
Yeah, this pitch is going to have a couple of different movements on it in the sense that it comes into Chan and up in the zone. This is a rise ball that has a little bit of break-in up and in her hands. Taylor Tinsley can really move the ball on both sides of the plate and then drop in that changeup at 56 miles an hour.
So this is not meant to be a second guess, rather a curious question. With Tinsley pitching that well against Stanford, why do you think Kelly Inouye Perez started Caitlin Terry tonight?
I think she's liked the starts that she's gotten from her here at the World Series. Has that competitive mentality, and Taylor Tinsley has looked good in relief. Could be too that maybe they had flipped it at some point in the season. Didn't like Caitlin Terry as much in relief. It's a different mindset to come into relief.
I've seen this formula 3 times now. Right side, Ava Gall with a base hit. Kern on her way in from third, and Kern will get in there. No tag attempt by Palacios. Ava Gall in her first World Series is lighting up the Oklahoma night, and Stanford takes the lead.
We warned you at the top of the show about how these Stanford freshmen show up in elimination games at the World Series. And Ava Gall, a freshman, doing it again. She just continues to produce in the 3-hole, does not let the moment or her swing get too big. Ava Gall, what a World Series in her first time here.
Ali Kaneshiro first pitch. Nice backhand stab by Brady. But Stanford turns the tide. They had nothing going in the first 2 innings against Caitlin Terry. They take down Terry and Tinsley for 2. Kern with an RBI and a run scored, and the Cardinal thriving in elimination games again.
Back To the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Here with Stanford head coach Jessica Allister. Coach, looking at what Ava Gall has done all postseason long, her and your freshmen, how have they been able to keep this energy up the entire postseason?
Yeah, well, they're good ball players, you know, and I think they're finding their confidence right now. They're staying aggressive. They're having fun. They're leaning on their teammates and just trying to get a good swing off.
You see a pitching change in the last inning from UCLA. What's the message with Taylor Tinsley in the circle now?
Yeah, we got to swing at strikes. We know she's got the changeup in her back pocket, so if we get a hard pitch that we can hit early on, we got to get a good swing off on it and fight to make decisions in the box. You can get into some real trouble against her if you start swinging early. So let the ball come out, make decisions, and get a good pitch hit.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jessica Allister has done a sensational job at Stanford. Back-to-back trips to the World Series. Nyjah Kennedy gave up the home run to Megan Grant. Nothing else through 3 innings. Kern, the sophomore, Gall, the freshman with RBI hits. This is nothing new for Stanford. They've been carried by their first and second year players all season. Megan Grant batting here, the home run hitter from the second. She knocks one out of play.
Remember, we talked about her holding her hands higher against Nyjah Kennedy. Took a big swing at that rise ball that was well up in the zone above her shoulders. You can see where she's holding her hands when she gets in the box. Trying to counter that now with that changeup. A great pitch there to get ahead 0-2.
See the hands way up high for Grant. Kennedy went up high again.
Well, and you see how she's able to handle that pitch with a couple of foul balls in this at-bat. But back in the second inning, she handled it, not a foul ball, but she hit it out of here. A solo home run to get UCLA on the board first. Swung early in the count. That was an 0-1 count. Grant was hunting early.
May not have hit the spot there, Kennedy. Kaneshiro had to move the glove back in, but it is a strikeout. Nyjah's 5th.
Yeah, you're right. You can see that Kaneshiro was setting up more on the outside corner for this screwball and came a little bit back over the plate. I think Kaneshiro wanted that even more in that right-handed batter's box, but Kennedy will take it for her 5th K.
Jordan Woolery a strikeout her first time.
Well, and this is how much more that Nyjah Kennedy is using that changeup in the first 2 games that she pitched. She's already thrown it 12 times in this game. In the first 2 games, she only threw her changeup 11 times amongst those 2 games.
Woolery coming in on the hands, fights it off only as far as Kern. Well, the Women's College World Series Finals begin on Wednesday, just 3 days from now. For more information, go to NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Go get your team apparel here at OKC. Fan Fest outside, the big merchandise tent. Shirts and apparel of all sizes. Representing the 8 teams that were here at the World Series. Will be down to 4 after today. 1-1 for Savvy Pola. Friday we said goodbye to Duke and Oklahoma State. Today we say goodbye to Alabama. And the loser of this game, the winner, gets to tussle with top-seeded Texas tomorrow night.
I think Nyjah looks really good tonight too, Kevin. Think about all the elimination games and the pressure that has been on her, that how much she has faced and felt probably with the weight of the world on her shoulders, and elimination games at regionals, super regionals, and then here at the World Series. But tonight she just looks rested. Had that day off yesterday. The last game that they played was that run roll against Oklahoma State on Friday.
The way Jessica Allister talks about Nyjah is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, it's a little defensive, and in a way defensive of a player who has been so good she's expected to be perfect. And when you have an ERA of .74, people are going to expect you to be perfect. And Jess said to Alyssa a couple of days ago, look, she's human. She just doesn't often seem it, but she's thrown every inning at this World Series, and nearly every inning of Stanford's postseason run. There's a ground ball flipped out to second. A charging curve makes the play. Nigeri Kennedy, 5 in a row, retired. The National Player of the Year is cooking up another good one here. The Bruin Bats have been largely on ice on this Elimination Sunday.
Head coach Kelly Inouye-Perez. Coach, when you're facing Nyjah, what are some of the tips that you're giving your hitters? What are you emphasizing to them?
I mean, we're just trying to beat her one pitch. You know, she's a quality pitcher. She throws a high velo and a great changeup, so our goal is to run into one of them.
What are you looking for out of Taylor in the circle?
Just to be her. You know, I think she's been very effective. We've had a chance to play them a lot of times. So there's a little bit of a guessing game, but I think just be her. I'm proud of both KT and Taylor, what they've done to be able to get us to this point. So I think that's what I tell them every day is just be themselves. And if anything happens, it's on me. I'm game calling.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kelly Inouye-Perez, Pac-12 Coach of the Year again, and her Bruins down 2-1. It's a very aggressive Stanford team. Against Caitlin Terry and Taylor Tinsley, Stanford has been swinging it a lot more frequently. Friday night against Oklahoma State saw 4.2 pitches per plate appearance. They are a full pitch per plate appearance under that tonight through their first 13 plate appearances. They put the first pitch in play 5 times, and Jay Berry goes after the first pitch here. What do you make of this new approach from Stanford? It's obviously working well.
Yeah, working well, and just wanting to get something to hit early in the count, not have to deal with hitting with 2 strikes. I mean, Taryn Curran obviously did with that RBI double that she had.
Berry swings at the first and second pitches. Alchin's there and left.
Well, they're going to look for something harder as well. Coach Allister, when she talked to Alyssa in her interview, mentioned that changeup that Taylor Tinsley will throw, and it is just such a good pitch for her. So they're looking for something more firm and up in the zone. That's adorable.
Future softball star.
So cute.
Go Cardinal. The world's smallest Stanford foam finger.
Yeah.
Strike 1 to Kaylin Cope. Senior who does have another year of eligibility. Torn ACL last season for Cope. Did not play as a freshman in 2021, and I think with this shot we can officially say this is now the last ever Pac-12 After Dark softball game. There could still be a Pac-12 After Dark baseball game. College baseball tournaments going on, but this will be the last pack-on-pack softball game. The winner faces Texas tomorrow night. 2-2.
Taylor Tinsley could throw that curveball as well. I mean, she just has such a variety and mix of her pitches with that changeup that we've mentioned, but she can throw her curveball on both sides of the plate. So that backdoor is very effective against all the left-handed hitters to clip the outside corner.
Coke gets a piece. Flat ground ball to third, and she's thrown out by Tessa Malau-Ulu for the second out.
Now batting shortstop number 1, River Mailer.
Bruin faithful hoping for a 1-2-3 inning with River Mailer trying to spoil that. Another first pitch swing.
Well, and Taylor Tinsley, too, throws a lot of first pitch strikes. She has one of the highest first pitch strike percentages out of any pitcher in Division I. So you know that you're going to get something early in the count against her. Could play into the first pitch hunting as well.
We're running out of softballs right now. These are all stuck on the net after foul balls.
Count 8 that are up there right now.
The RoboCam is on the case. Jessica Allister did tell Alyssa We know Taylor's got that changeup in her back pocket, and she's taken it out of the back pocket a few times in this inning. Out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, all the way to Los Angeles, now in OKC. She's the one real outlier on the UCLA roster. They have 24 players, 21 from California. Terry's from Arizona. They do have a player from Texas and Lauren Hatch, but the only one from the eastern part of the country, Taylor Tinsley. Little flip out toward left center, and a 1-2-3 inning for Taylor Tinsley. See if the Bruins can get the bats going, down 1. Stanford's seen this game before. It's happened all the time in their postseason run. Elimination game number 5, searching for elimination game win number 5. And look, Jessica Allister said it after the win over Oklahoma State Friday. Felt like we were a little paralyzed on Thursday in the shutout loss to Texas. They were more aggressive and assertive that night. That's Stanford softball in her words. This has been Stanford softball again tonight.
Well, and I think they want a little bit of revenge for what happened in the regular season. When you get swept on your field, you remember that, especially at the World Series with your season on the line. And Nyjah has pitched with energy that we didn't really see at the beginning of the World Series, and I think the offense is feeding off of it.
It's the only Pac-12 series the Cardinal lost all season, 7-1. 0-3 against UCLA. This is the one that really matters, the one that will send one of these teams to the semis and will send one of these teams packing. Nyjah Kennedy against Tessa Malaulu. And Malaulu grounds one to Mailer at short. 1 up, 1 down, make it 6 out of 7 retired by Kennedy, the second time through the Bruins lineup. Seneca Currow just 1 for 15 in the tournament.
Seneca Currow.
More for her strong defense. Trying to get it going at the plate.
And in the regular season, UCLA was very prepared for Nyjah's rise ball. And talking to Kelly Inouye Perez going into that series, she talked about how they would move the machines up and just try to emulate that speed that the ball gets on top of you, and turned the velocity up, put the angle more up in the zone, and do different drills as well. But those machines, she actually created a challenge for her hitters to go up against. And she said you have 12 minutes to hit the ball hard or hit the top half or swing over the ball. So she'd give them 12 minutes. There would be a group of 3. And within that 12 minutes, they would have to hit 15. A hard hit, get the top half, or swing over the ball. And that preparation for her rise ball led to good results in the regular season. But with the way that she's mixing her changeup and her curveball here, she's not giving them as many rise balls. That one going up and away from Currow.
Another nice up-close look from the cam. 6 strikeouts in the game. Now Mayonio to third. A drawn-in Berry. A 1-2-3 inning. Nyjah Kennedy at Stanford getting it done. A run in the second for UCLA. 2 in the third for Stanford. Elimination Sunday at the World Series. The winner moves on to the semis. Stanford's trying to get there for a second straight season, and UCLA is hoping to keep this magical late season ride alive. The Bruins had won 14 consecutive games, the longest win streak in the nation until yesterday. They lost a 1-run game to Oklahoma, and they're losing a 1-run game right now as Emily Jones reaches on a bunt single, and she is 2 for 2.
And this is Emily Jones at her best, and what she did to UCLA in the regular season when she continued to find different ways to get on. She used her short game like this, angled her barrel when she bunted it down the first base line. There is no play to make with the speed of Emily Jones. She has turned it on defensively and offensively these last 2 games.
Emily Jones had just one hit in the NCAA tournament coming into Friday. She had a base hit, score a run there, plus a sacrifice fly, and she is 2 for 2 tonight. Runner on for Caitlin Lim. Now she squares to butt, drops it down in fair territory, and Lim is safe. Hesitation from the all-defensive catcher Palacios leads to 2 base runners with nobody out.
Yeah, just thinking a little too much, especially with the speed of Emily Jones. You know that you're not really going to have a play at second base because she is so fast. Well-executed bunt by Lim. You see Palacios wants to go to second. Then already saw that Jones was basically there. In the meantime, Lim's going to use her speed to get down the line safely.
Jones' 5th bunt single of the year, followed by Lim's 4th. And the 8 and the 9 hitters are 3 for 4 tonight for the Cardinal. It's an all-staff meeting where the sophomore Tinsley slapping hands and trying to stay loose in the circle with Stanford's most dangerous, most hostile hitter coming up. She's seen 11 pitches. She swung at 2, and she's doubled in a run-on-1. That's Taryn Kern. Now 206 consecutive plate appearances without swinging at the first pitch. And Kern will take one right down the middle. You might as well. The odds are ever in your favor. Was 4 for 22 in the tournament, but 10 walks hit by 3 pitches. So that on-base percentage is around 500. Went up in the 3rd.
Yeah, and she had 2 strikes off of Caitlin Terry for this double. Took it the opposite way, left center, and scored Emily Jones for the first run.
Taryn Kern, the 2nd transfer in Stanford softball history. She's from San Jose. Jessica Allister said when Taryn reached out, she didn't think there was a chance to get Taryn into school because Stanford is a school that accepts such a low percentage of transfers. She expected the answer to be no. And she told us, I haven't opened the transfer portal since I saw Taryn's name.
That's a big get with how she performed last year as a freshman, the Big Ten Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year.
It's been since 2000. Jessica Dremel did it. Kern said she had to apply like a regular student at a week, had to meet with a whole bunch of different folks to help her out with the Stanford application, but this was a dream for her. And on 3-2, she fouls one away.
You guys were talking about the story of Taryn Kern transferring into Stanford. She joked with us that Coach Allister was the last coach to reach out. She was like, yeah, I know they were at the College World Series a season ago, but they were at the top of her list, so it was kind of a match made in heaven.
Yeah, she went to Indiana for a year, just sort of a happenstance trip. She went there because her dad's alma mater, Gonzaga, was in the Final Four 3 years prior. And Chris played basketball at Gonzaga. 2021 because of the COVID pandemic. The whole NCAA men's tournament was in Indianapolis. Taryn went out there to support her dad and his team and took an official visit to IU. Went to Indiana for a year, Big Ten Player of the Year. Now here she is in the World Series with Stanford. And she swings away on 3-2. Fair ball right to the bag at first. Kern grounds out, but it's an awfully productive out. Jones to 3rd, Lim to 2nd with only 1 down.
And every run is just so critical in an elimination game, and it's just a 1-run game here, getting late into this game. But I know that UCLA offense is a Bruin. You can just, or you just know in the back of your mind that that UCLA offense can score a bunch of runs quickly. So you don't feel good if you're Stanford with just a 1-run lead, especially when you have a couple of runners in scoring position and a chance to score more here.
Jessica Allister will send up a pinch hitter here. Allie Clements will bat for Kira Chan. .351 on base percentage, not too much power. Now Kira Chan leads the Cardinal, hitting .385 with runners in scoring position. And she has struck out twice tonight, once against Terry, once against Tinsley. Clemens replaces her with 2 on 1 out in the 5th. And Clemens smacks one foul, and Tinsley's ahead 0-2.
Clemens has just looked a little bit behind on these pitches. I know that Tinsley likes to use that changeup, but I'd be really careful with it here against Clemens.
She's hitting .333 as a pinch hitter. Just got a piece. That's another net ball. I'm told by our official statistician, Karen Johns, we are creeping awfully close to the official World Series record for net balls. We are now just 3 away from the tournament record. Down the right field line, foul. Do we have space on the score bug for a net ball counter? What do you think?
I mean, I think if we don't have space now, we need to figure that out before tomorrow.
I mean,
the semis.
The game is tight, but the net ball record.
But I mean, that's why you watch the World Series, is to see if that's going to get broken.
It's got priorities right here. 0-2 for Clements. Second and third, 1 out. 2-1 Stanford. Clements, fly ball into left field, hit pretty well. Alchin's there to make the play. Jones tags from third, and she is in to score. So Clements delivers in a pinch with a sacrifice fly, and Stanford makes it 3-1.
She did her job. Just good, productive outs for Stanford in this inning, with Taryn Kern moving the runner over to third base, so that a productive out like that in a sacrifice fly can score a run.
That was one of the all-time wildest sac fly dugout celebrations I've ever seen. And appropriate, given the circumstances. Three in a row for Stanford after the Grant home run in the second. And Ava Gall with an RBI single in the second, trying to add to it. Gall smacks one the other way, fading fast, but retrieved by Mayonio. A 3-1 lead for Stanford. 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth. Trying to make it a perfect 5-0 in elimination games, and this young team is not afraid at all. Tonight is the 249th game of Maya Brady's career. She hopes there will be number 250. 71 home runs, 246 RBIs, behind only the great Stacy Newman in UCLA history. Maya Brady came into college known as Tom Brady's niece, and at the end of her college career, Tom Brady's going to be known as Maya Brady's uncle. She's the third Bruin to be a first-team All-American shortstop, the fifth Bruin to win Pac-12 Player of the Year 2 times. And to quote Jordan Willery, talking to us earlier in the week, we're so lucky to live in the Maya Brady era. The first swing in this third at-bat, a foul ball against Nigel Kennedy. UCLA has more history, more success than anybody in the history of college softball, and yet Maya Brady stands right near the top among the all-time greatest Bruins.
And you could talk about her stats for her career, Kevin, and those are just amazing. I mean, she's going to leave her mark in the record book, but her leadership this year is what has stuck out to me, and I think a lot of the UCLA fans and alma mater.
Down the left field line from Brady, slicing and just foul.
And I think it stuck out to Coach Inoue Perez as well, because she said earlier in the year, I just give her so much credit for her maturity. She came in as a young, goofy, easygoing kid and has developed into this leader that has consistency in her game. And early in the year, Coach Inoue Perez told her, they're going to go where you go, in reference to the rest of her teammates. And she's the type of leader that has built confidence in others.
Brady gets a piece to stay alive.
And I love this too. Coach Inoue Perez said of Maya Brady, the growth for her as a powerful female has been phenomenal. She's pulled together meetings, collaborated with teammates, and I mean, most of all, she's learned from the leaders before her to become the leader she is today.
I'd encourage folks to read the story that Jake Trotter wrote on ESPN.com yesterday. It's Kevin Youkilis, one of Maya's other notable uncles. It's been an amazing family of athletes. Her mom, Maureen, All-American pitcher. And Brady is down swinging here. Nizeri Kennedy has struck her out 3 times tonight. Maya Brady's going to have to hope her teammates pick her up, after she's picked them up so many times in the first 248 games of her star-studded career with the Bruins. She is 0 for 3 tonight. And she'll keep the energy going in the UCLA dugout.
Think about the expectations and the pressure on Maya Brady. Just tough being a Brady, and that family of athletes, and tremendous athletes at that.
Her first World Series 3 years ago, and this was in the story that, again, Jake wrote on ESPN.com. She was on the bus when she noticed that her mom slipped her a handwritten note and said, soak in this moment. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. There's a swing. There's a strikeout. Nizeri Kennedy making the most of this moment for Stanford. She has struck out 8 and retired 9 in a row.
She's just spinning the ball really well tonight and mixing her changeup. And so with 2 strikes, it's hard to know, is she going to go through the zone with her changeup, or is she going to leave one here at 71, like a lower rise ball in to Alchin for the strikeout?
Now Palacios yanks one on the ground at third. It's a 1-2-3 inning against UCLA's 1-2-3 hitters. Nizeri Kennedy and the Cardinal in control. Third inning against UCLA. Florida and Oklahoma, the aforementioned Sooners will play at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. local tomorrow. Gators need to win 2, Sooners 1. That game's on ESPN. Top-seeded Texas gets the winner of this game, 7 Eastern, 6 local. 4 Pacific. That game on ESPN. Texas needs to win 1. Winner of this game is going to have to go through quite the road if it wants to get to the Champ Series. And right now, it's Stanford in the driver's seat, 3-1. The Cardinal were swept by the Bruins in the regular season. It's a series that has been historically dominated by UCLA, but not tonight. Stanford gave up a second inning homer and has scored 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth to take the lead. And it's been Nizeri Kennedy's night, her best of the 3 at the World Series this year. The pitching coach, Tori Nyberg, seated next to her. Kennedy has retired 10 successive Bruins. Kaneshiro elevates this pitch from Taylor Tinsley, right center, and Mayonio smacks into the wall with possession of the ball.
Janelle Mayonio has tracked down balls like this her entire career. Look at her read and just trying to feel where that wall was going to be, but stuck out her glove right at the perfect time for that extension, knowing that the wall was going to be coming near her soon, and then trying to pump up her teammates. Could that be the spark that UCLA needed to get their bats going late in this game?
Remember Thursday night, Kendra Falby made a very similar catch for Florida in the 5th inning, and then the Gators scored in the bottom of the 5th on the Katie Kistler homer. Katie said after the fact she felt like that Falby catch gave their team a little life. UCLA's been looking for any sign of life the last few innings. 2-0 for the freshman Jade Berry from the sophomore Taylor Tinsley. Strike one.
And it's just been for UCLA that their offense not showing up. I mean, their pitchers have pitched really well in the World Series, and unfortunately for them, they're in the elimination round, and they'd only given up 2 runs coming into this game in the World Series. Tough 1-0 loss to OU. Their offense has been quiet.
Jessica Allister's team 3 outs from another trip to the World Series semis, trying to add to this 2-run lead. Left center field, a gapper. Tracked down by Alchin. Berry has flied out to her all 3 times. UCLA is going to have 4, 5, and 6 due up in the 7th. Megan Grant, who had a home run in the 2nd. Jordan Woolery and Savannah Pola. There's Grant, who has really hit Kennedy and Stanford well this year. Woolery, who had the game-winning home run against Alabama on Thursday. She'd be the tying run if the score stays and if Grant reaches. Right back to Tinsley, and that'll do it for the 6. So the middle of the UCLA order coming up against college softball's greatest super weapon. When she straps on the face mask, grabs the rosin, and unwields an unholy rise ball, there's nobody like Nyjah Kennedy. She's 3 outs away from the semis. Capital One. UCLA 3 outs away from seeing this magical ride come to an end, but the Bruins have been in these kinds of situations before. All sorts of late inning rallies this year. They'll need to do it now against the National Player of the Year, the fearsome sophomore from Topeka, Kansas, about 4 hours down the road. Nyjah Kennedy facing 4, 5, and 6 in the Bruin order, and beginning with Megan Grant. Strike one to Grant, with Texas the #1 seed for the first time awaiting the winner tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, 6 local, ESPN. Grant hit her first home run of the postseason in the 2nd inning, and Grant is in an 0-2 hole here.
It was a good swing early in the count that she had off of Nyjah Kennedy to put UCLA on the board. That was a mistake over the heart of the plate, and Kennedy has not given up much. Just 3 hits, and one of them was that Grant home run early.
Grant goes down to get a low pitch, golfs it into right. It is caught. Caitlin Lim, little hesitant at first, but had plenty of time, and Kennedy has the first out of the 7th.
Using that changeup throughout this entire game. It has been a good out pitch for her alongside her rise ball, but using that changeup more in this game than the first 2 games she threw here.
And now Jordan Woolery cannot tie it. Well,
you think about how efficient Nyjah Kennedy has been too. Just 82 pitches that she's thrown in this game. Knowing that they're relying on her.
Woolery grounds her 1-0 foul. UCLA did come back from a 7th inning deficit in the regionals against Virginia Tech. They have 11 wins this season when trailing in the 5th inning or later. They call it Bruin Magic. They're going to need a lot of magic now. 1 and 2, with Kennedy looking to retire a 12th straight hitter. Her 85th pitch of the night on the way. Popped up, foul territory. Ava Gall is there, and Stanford is 1 out away from a return trip to the semifinals.
UCLA for 5, Savannah Ola.
Two sophomores retired, and now the junior Savannah Pola trying to keep the ride going for UCLA. First pitch. Pola rips right through it at 72.
Nyjah has just looked so smooth in this game, so effortless with her velocity. Felt like the pitch calling in this game with Tori Nyberg and Ali Kaneshiro and Nyjah Kennedy working together. It is so tough to go up against the same team. As much as Nyjah Kennedy and the UCLA pitcher, I mean, so many times they faced each other this year.
Her 0-2 pitch. There will be another. UCLA players told us they felt like the turning point of their season was the sweep of Stanford in the middle of Pac-12 play. Nyjah Kennedy and Stanford are trying to turn that point on its head. Another foul ball. Pola fighting for the Bruins' lives here on 2 strikes. Nyjah's 90th pitch of the night is outside. Nyjah's dad, Bruce Kennedy, family in the stands, hoping for one more strike. And Savvy Pola is trying to do everything she can to not give in with that final strike. Tying run on deck. 2 down, 7th inning. Elimination Sunday. A pop-up behind the plate, and that will get out of play. 4 2-strike foul balls here from Pola. Typically, she does checks that final box. She's gotten the first 2. It's taken a while to get to 3, and it'll take at least one more. What an at-bat.
I'd love to see this AB that is being put together right now.
The 9th pitch to Pola. Up and in, it hit her. Pola painfully will compel the tying run to the plate. An at-bat where she fell behind 0-2. Fouled off 4 2-strike pitches and ended up working her way on base.
Nyjah trying to go up and down her hands with the rise ball, and it ends up getting her hand. That is going to be so painful for her, but what an at-bat by Pola to find a way to reach base. I mean, that is 70, 71 miles an hour coming in on your hand, and oh, it's that backhand, that left hand.
Pola's going to exit this game for pinch runner. Taylor Stevens will replace her at first. So UCLA not finished. Just one heck of an at-bat by Pola. Saw 7 2-strike pitches and 7 times fought back against match point. So now the senior Tessa Malaulu. She has a tying run, but she does not have a home run this year. She has 5 doubles and an on-base percentage of .378. Malauulu toward the middle. It's a base hit. It eluded the grasp of the shortstop Mailer by just a few inches, and Maya Brady and the Bruins have some late life in their bats.
Just passing the bat. What a swing by Malauulu. Early in the count, seeing one that is more down in the zone and getting on, playing with it right back up the middle of the field. That was struck so hard, and now UCLA with 2 on.
And a pinch hitter is coming to the plate. Ramsey Suarez, eye to eye with Kelly Inouye Perez. The sophomore Suarez, 9 for 24, .375 as a pinch hitter this year. She does not have a home run. 13 hits, only 1 for extra bases. It's a double. The go-ahead run at the plate with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th. Kennedy to Suarez. First pitch swinging, and that's out of play. The last Pac-12 versus Pac-12 softball game has lived up to the hype. The hype that's been building for 40-plus years. Suarez, a soft ground ball to short. River Mailer to first, and the Stanford Cardinal stop their way into the semifinals.
Amazing performance by Nyjah Kennedy, and the offense generating some momentum, giving her some support to absolutely spin a gem. And so just Mayor, does Stanford play better with their back against the wall in elimination games this postseason?
5-0 now in elimination games, so no, it is not just you. They've outscored their opponents 26-3 in elimination games. And Stanford flips the script. If you thought the final Pac-12 versus Pac-12 softball game had to belong to UCLA, the team that has so thoroughly controlled the league, well, you were wrong, because the Conference of Champions had at least one final surprise in store. And for the second time in Oklahoma City, we get to see the #1 team and the #1 pitcher in the nation, Texas and Stanford, tomorrow night. Cardinal need to win 2, but they've got a punching chance, and that's all that they can hope for. Our Capital One rewarding performance, Nyjah Kennedy, who struck out 9.
She leveled up her game today at the World Series with that changeup that she could throw on command, mixed with her rise ball at a bunch of different levels, in, out. The pitch calling was on point, and Nyjah Kennedy was on fire.
And she's with Alyssa.
Nyjah, you've pitched every game here at this Women's College World Series. It's been a long year for you. What did you tell yourself coming into this elimination game tonight?
Just that I wanted the ball. I know yesterday wasn't my best outing. I feel like I haven't had my best outing yet, so just wanted to have the ball for my team.
How'd you feel about your stuff tonight? Give us an evaluation.
Pretty good. There's always improvement, but yeah, overall pretty good. I mean, the only thing that matters is us winning, so as long as we do that.
You and your teammates have talked about the fight of this team all postseason. When y'all's backs are against the wall, it feels like you play your best softball. Where does that come from for this group?
I think just wanting to fight for each other. We want to do whatever it takes, just to, honestly, just to win as many games as possible and fight for our teammates. So we're going to do that.
What do the next 24 hours of recovery look like for you before a semifinal here in Oklahoma City?
Yes, a lot of sleep, but definitely excited for tomorrow.
Congratulations, Nyjah. Go get some sleep.
Awesome, thank you.
We say so long until tomorrow for Nyjah Kennedy. We say so long for the college careers all time of some of these great UCLA seniors, including Maya Brady and Charlize Palacios, who continued to raise the standard at a school that has raised the standard for so many. Jalen Alchin, beg your pardon, this grad transfer from Washington in the middle. Janelle Mayoño, who came over from Arizona. UCLA was fueled by its seniors. They started 3-4. They finished 43-12. They were an amazing story. But the story is not done for Stanford and Isaac Kennedy. The agony of defeat for the Bruins, the thrill of victory for the Cardinal, and the Conference of Champions has a chance to add another trophy because Stanford is alive in OKC. What a night. This is why you come to Oklahoma City. This is why you watch moments like this. Stanford lost its first 3 to UCLA this year. They win the one that matters. For Amanda Scarborough, Alyssa Lang, our fabulous World Series crew, I'm Kevin Brown. Coming up after the break, we'll get you to Squeeze Play, and we will see you tomorrow morning in Oklahoma City.